Buenos dias from Puerto Vallarta.
Hola.
We are in sunny and warm Puerto Vallarta at the Garza Blanca Preserve Resort and Spa.
And as you can see, we are just right on the edge of the ocean. And I couldn't...
It's a beach resort.
You know, I don't know if there's a better place that we could be given the weather
6 degrees
conditions
back home. It is January, end of January 2022 at this time of filming.
It is. And we are very excited to be here.
Yes, we are.
So,
Because we're here for a special occasion, Gary. Why are we here?
it's our oldest daughter's wedding. Sarah is marrying Nick. And they have actually visited, spent time here at Garza Blanca on 2 other occasions and fell in love with it. And without either one of them saying anything to the other, they both, I guess, kind of popped the question. Not that question, but it was kind of a lead. It was kind of a
place for a wedding.
Yeah, a lead into that. And so, and they both felt that it would be, and so
yeah, they knew.
They did, and so here we are.
Yeah, couldn't have asked for a better place. So we flew from St. Louis through Houston and got here on Wednesday afternoon. No problems with the flights at all, and we are staying at the most beautiful resort. And several buildings. I think the 2 over here only have 86 rooms total. Other than that, we have just been here relaxing and eating some really great food.
It's been awesome.
Yeah.
But it was quite a trip to get here. It's when I say it was a long trip, it was that early wake up call.
Yeah.
that really made it so much more difficult. But got a good night's rest that first night, and
ready to go the next day.
Yeah, that worked wonders because we were definitely ready to go.
Yeah.
And we had to be, because the next day was the rehearsal dinner that evening.
Yeah.
But before then, we just we lounged around the pool, had I think a very relaxing time. But we also made I think a kind of an interesting introduction with one of the Mexican animals, an iguana. There was a plate of French fries on one of the chairs, and he saw that and he wanted it.
Well, wait a minute. Let's start with that. He wanted Julie's food that I think she was holding, or else it was on her her chair.
He was sitting on her chair.
He jumped right up onto the lounge chair with her.
He did.
And of course, he jumped up and she jumped off.
He did.
Yeah.
So, and I think the other thing too that I learned out of this experience is those suckers can swim.
Yeah.
Of them swam through the jacuzzi, which was really surprising and interesting. So that was pretty wild.
Yeah. So it was a nice afternoon, kind of a meet and greet at the beach or at the pool to meet people that we didn't know. And later that afternoon, get ready for a really nice dinner, rehearsal dinner, which was on a big patio here, a private patio. So it was a really great dinner buffet. There were 2 ladies making homemade corn tortillas, which were amazing.
And I've never had it done right in front of me before, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, they had the little dough balls and they flattened them and made them. And we also got to see a Mexican raccoon while we were there too. Just very friendly.
Just really kind of came out of nowhere and looked. Yeah, I guess back in the shadows, it really kind of looked like a cat until it got a little bit closer. And
I thought it looked like an anteater. Anyway, so nice rehearsal dinner.
It was a beautiful rehearsal dinner.
Yeah.
That was as being father of the bride, I had my opportunity to give a short speech and a toast, and that was really, for me, it was a memorable moment. Sarah's our oldest, and it's just really such. I guess it's really hard to say, because I guess I would also talk about the same thing during the video when we talk about her wedding day, but just seeing her feeling so happy, just seeing her eyes, it was just really
she glowed the entire 2 days.
It was really great.
Yeah. So the next morning, the wedding wasn't until 6 p.m., but it was quite the adventure. We left here at 3:30, had a private vans that took us down to the marina downtown.
And it was a 45-minute drive, and you go through the old part of Puerto Vallarta, and those roads are bumpy.
Oh my gosh, the cobblestone. If you've never been here before, all cobblestone roads. So so we made it to the marina, and they had chartered a catamaran for everyone to, oh my gosh, it was at least a 45-minute boat ride.
It was.
About halfway there. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, before I interrupted you, the boat ride was well worth it.
Yeah. About halfway there, somebody spotted off in the distance some whales. It's humpback whale season here, and of course we couldn't really see anything from the hotel. They're a lot farther out. So they stopped the boat and talked about humpback whales a little bit, and as you can see, I have some video here of one of the mamas breeching. It was a fun moment for everybody.
But just, on happenstance, to see something like this, it's just, it's one of those things. It's one in a million kind of experiences where you talk about it, you see pictures, but to actually see it was one of the neatest things I've ever seen.
So we partied on.
We're gonna let Nick be the captain of the boat, because after tonight I don't think he's gonna be in charge of many things. Okay, so Nick, you are the one in charge. Enjoy the last few hours of authority, okay?
Down to the location for the wedding, a private beach. And then there was a nice covered patio where we had a great meal and heard I'm going to get choked up. One of the most amazing speeches I've ever heard from her sister, Rachel. They're super close, and it was just amazing. I think the best man went first. Guys.
Probably.
Yeah, rock on, man. Congratulations. And then Rachel stood up for about 15 minutes and talked about her relationship with her sister. It was really special.
And he even brought back a couple memories that I'd forgotten about. One of them in particular, when Rachel was really a newborn, and I think she was laying on a bed, and Sarah came in and picked her up and took her into her bed and then surrounded her with her stuffed animals. So I had totally forgotten about that.
We went down back onto the beach where we had dancing and a bonfire. And Gary and I were sitting over at the bonfire after a little while. And I look up on this little ridge right there. I see these two men dressed in kind of native costume, and they had this black makeup across their eyes. I nudged Gary and I said, "See those guys? Something's going to happen. I think we should walk back over to the dance floor." And about that time, our MC for the evening started making the announcement, wanted everybody off the dance floor except for the bride and groom, had them stand over on the side. And here come these two guys, and they were fire thrower dancers. Oh my gosh.
Fire lit batons, kind of.
Yeah.
It
warmed up the
spectacular.
evening.
It did. It was amazing.
So many fun surprises and special moments. It was a beautiful, beautiful wedding.
You touched on one for you, and I guess what I'm going to have to say, and probably most dads would say this when they first see their daughter at a wedding, but she came down the stairs and just seeing her dressed up so elegantly and in her wedding dress that
Still tears.
it takes your heart away, and again, it just it brings that sense of joy and satisfaction of just seeing her in the moment, seeing her so happy.
Oh, and from the other side, because I was in a chair up front, and the glow and the smile, and she was just so happy. It's just glowing. I can't think of another word right now.
It was a great night, also being able to dance with both my daughters.
And the bride to one of his favorite songs by Fleetwood Mac.
She made sure
she made that happen.
And made it a point to come over and get me.
Yeah.
So it was that was a long day, and we were ready to get back to the hotel.
Yeah, like 9 hours. 9-hour wedding.
Because the other thing too is the next morning we were planning to do a hike.
Yep.
And you and I have done quite a bit of hikes, but this was probably one of the most difficult hikes that we've done.
Oh, tell them about the beginning.
Because at the beginning you have what's called the eliminator.
Okay, senores.
Wasn't that fun?
Welcome to the first platform. We did it. It was a nice section here. We usually call this section, the start off, we call it the eliminator. Alright? You might know why, or you might have an idea why. Alright?
And what it starts off with, there's ropes, and you literally, you're pulling yourself up the mountain. I'm not saying
It's
you're
not
climbing.
like this. I mean, it was pretty steep, but it wasn't straight up and down.
It wasn't straight up and down, but it was still at enough of an angle that
You had to have the rope.
it was tough, really tough. But then it was maybe about, I'm going to say 8 to 10 feet, maybe 10 feet's too much. But then once you got up there, then you had to go across some rocks, and there was another rope where you kind of had to do this.
Hand over hand, right.
So, that, I think right off the bat, once we got into doing that, we were probably wondering what we get ourselves into. I'd say for the first 40 to 45 minutes, it was, we were climbing, and and there wasn't really a whole lot of level ground. There was a little bit, but just not really a whole lot. The path kind of leveled out, and we kind of went across the mountain. There were a few ups and downs, and then we started back down. And
Well, wait, just so you know, I think we were going about 2 hours. We're not sure of the length of the hike, but I did on my camera, on my phone, you have a compass as an app, and I think we got up to about 650 feet of elevation.
it was steep in some areas, and again, they had ropes along the way where you could grab it like a handrail to come down.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but
We made it.
We made it. Yeah, and then we had a really nice evening. Again, we were joining up with Joe and Rachel and Hartman, and made reservations at a really nice steakhouse.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing.
Really
food.
amazing.
It was delicious.
I think before we went there, though, they're building a new area where they've got shops and a nice little carousel.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It really is. And we took Hartman there, and he
We all went for a ride.
He
Yeah.
loved it.
I think they had tried to take him to another one somewhere at the Denver Zoo, and he wasn't into it. But this time, he rode an
Yeah.
elephant. We all got on and round and round.
We had it to ourselves too,
Yeah.
for most of the time.
Yeah, it was great. He just kept letting us go since we were the only one. We're up at dinner, and as we're leaving, we got treated to fireworks. So it was pretty. They had an
We did.
amazing wedding there.
But let's back up a second to when we got there. And we got there right as the sun was setting, and got a beautiful picture of that.
Yeah.
And then sat down to just a wonderful evening. Great dessert. Probably, I think, the best
Oh yeah, it's
best
the
place
best meal
we've eaten
had.
at so far. And then there was also there was a guy on an electric piano. was that?
Yeah, but he had some, background music to accompany himself. We finished that. That finished up our day yesterday, and today we have to have our COVID test the day before we leave. We're leaving tomorrow, so we went and had that done. No problem. We're still good. We can come back home. This afternoon.
I don't know whether that's good news or bad news.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's several months later.
In full disclosure,
It's summertime.
you'll notice that there's no snow on the ground. We're not in coats.
No, we have long sleeves on though because it's almost fall.
So life kind of got in the way, and actually we didn't like the video that we had taken in Puerto Vallarta.
We made it home great. It was a great trip.
Yeah, the travel was uneventful, which was a good thing.
Yeah.
So that was good, and we did happen to beat a winter storm
Yeah.
by a day. We just thought we'd do just a really short recap because, again, we didn't like what we had filmed earlier, and the trip itself was, it was just absolutely perfect. So typically we have been doing our segments on the good, the bad, and the ugly. There was really nothing that was bad or ugly within the trip itself. However,
All good.
It really was. It
Yeah.
was just,
It was a wedding.
everything was just absolutely perfect. And when I hear my daughter tell me that, in her eyes, it was perfect.
That's all that matters.
That's all we have to hear.
All that to say, we are so excited to be with you and to have you interested in what goes on in our life and what we're doing. So we hope that if you enjoyed this video that you give it a thumbs up and you'll consider subscribing to our channel, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Anyway, peace. We'll see you on the flip side.
We'll see you later. Bye for now.